Viserys, in a deal brokered by one of the magisters of Pentos, the Illyrio Mopatis, he gives up his sister into marriage to this horse lord in return for a promise of an army. The problem is that Viserys doesn't really understand the Dothraki, and that also he's arrogant. He has this sense of entitlement. He doesn't understand the Dothraki culture, and the Dothraki are not merchants. They do not buy or sell. They trade favors, and they do it in their own time. So they look at it as Dany was given to Khal Drogo as a gift, and in return he will give a gift of this golden crown that he has promised Viserys. Drogo, by the customs of his people, is obliged to return to Vaes Dothrak and to present his new bride to the Dosh Khaleen, the crones who are at the heart of the Dothraki culture. And Viserys tags along with him, which is a mistake on a whole number of levels. The horse people come to have great contempt for Viserys. Dany adjusts to their culture. Dany rides and starts wearing Dothraki clothing and learns their language. Viserys doesn't do any of this. He's the king of Westeros. He expects deference and all that. And it becomes more and more a problem. Fantasy requires magic of some sort. Otherwise, without magic, it's just historical fiction about history that never happened. But I think you need to be very careful about how you handle the magic and how much of it you put in. If you look at Lord of the Rings, what strikes you, and certainly struck me, is that although the world is infused with this great sense of magic, there's very little onstage magic. Gandalf is a wizard, but you don't see him. He doesn't obliterate entire armies with a word and lightning bolts from his fingers and things like that. He's got a staff that glows a little. When orcs attack, he takes out his sword and fights side by side with the other people. So you have a sense of magic, but it's kept under very tight control. And I really took that to heart when I was starting my own series. I think if you put too much magic in your fantasy, it overwhelms the plot. And it starts to make the plot nonsensical. I mean, if you do have a sorceress or a wizard who can speak a word and wipe out an army, why would you even assemble an army? This is one of the scenes where you do get the sense that there may be something beyond the things known to us. There may be forces at work here that we don't entirely understand, that are beyond nature, supernatural, and that Mirri Maz Duur perhaps commands some of them. Something is happening in that tent. What exactly is it? Well, we don't really know. And I don't really want you to know. I want you to feel as, kind of frightened and disturbed by it as Dany does. Theon Greyjoy is as a result of the Greyjoy Rebellion. Theon Greyjoy, the third son and only surviving son of Balon Greyjoy, the Lord of Pike, has been given to Ned Stark as a ward. If you defeat an enemy and you make a peace, the defeated lord gives up some member of his family who presumably he cares about, becomes a hostage of the one who's won the battle, the lord who's won the war, the person who's defeated them. And they go and live in his household. And because they are of noble birth, they're not confined to a dungeon or anything like that. They're treated well. But they are a hostage. There's sort of a plight fiction that they're the same as the fosterlings. But they're not. They're treated the same. They eat, since they're of noble birth, they'll eat at table with the family that's hosting them. They'll be referred to as a ward or a fosterling. But everybody knows that they're a hostage for their father's good behavior. And that as much affection and friendship as there may seem to be, if there's any treason on part of the father, they may pay with their lives.